Our first standard for Chapter 5 is performing operations with polynomials. So this video is going to focus on the first three operations, adding, subtracting, and multiplying the polynomials. Now, when you are adding and subtracting polynomials, you are only allowed to add and subtract like terms. Like terms have to have the same variables with the same exponents. And what I like to do when I'm adding and subtracting polynomials is I like to line up the like terms so that I can combine them easier. So I write the first polynomial down, and the second polynomial gets lined up with its like terms. So 6a goes underneath the a, negative 6b goes underneath the b. And we are adding. So I like to write an addition sign in front of each of the terms in the second one to remind me that I'm adding. 3a plus 6a gives me 9a. 4b plus negative 6b gives me negative 2b. For number 2, first polynomial, and then the second polynomial gets lined up with its like terms, so x squareds under x squareds, x, and negative 1. And this time we are subtracting. So I'm going to put a subtraction sign in front of each of these. Now when I put two subtraction signs here, remember that changes it to a positive. So I have x squared minus 3x squared gives me negative 2x squared. Negative 5x minus 1x gives me negative 6x. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. And notice each time I combined the like terms, the variables and their exponents did not change. X squareds, when they're combined with other x squareds, remain as x squareds. X's combined with other x's remain as x's. Number 3. There's the first polynomial, and the second polynomial I have 3y, so that goes underneath the y, and negative 4 goes underneath the 6. And we are adding, so I'm going to put a little addition sign in front of each of them. 6 plus negative 4 gives me positive 2. Negative 5y plus 3y gives me negative 2y. And I always like to rewrite mine so that the y is first. So negative 2y and a positive 2. Number 4. Here's our first polynomial. And then the 5 will line up underneath the 1. The x will line up underneath the negative 3x. And we are subtracting, so a subtraction sign goes in front of both terms. So I don't have anything that's underneath this 2x squared. And if you'd like, you can put a 0x squared, or you know that 2x squared minus nothing gives me just 2x squared. Negative 3x minus 1x gives me negative 4x. And 1 minus 5 gives me negative 4. For multiplication, I really like to use the box method or Punnett square method. And that is simply because when we get up to trinomials times other trinomials, or even other polynomials that are bigger than a trinomial, it can get a little confusing when they're using the FOIL method. It's the same actual process, but it just helps us organize our information a little bit better. So when I'm doing this one, I have one term in the first polynomial. And in the second polynomial, I have 3 terms. That's why the box that's given to you is a 1 by 3 box. Of course, you'll have to draw your own boxes outside of the notes. So you could have done a 3 by 1 box as well. Now, when we multiply, The numbers get multiplied together and the variables get multiplied together. It does not matter whether they're like terms or anything when you're multiplying. Only addition and subtraction have to stay with their like terms. So we have 3 times 2 is 6. X squared and x gives me x to the third. And I've still got my y. Negative 3 and 3, negative 9. X times x squared, x to the third, and this time I have a y squared still. 4 times 3 is 12. X squared times x squared gives me x to the fourth, and then y to the third. And then you're just going to combine any like terms that you might find. If this had a like term, it would have exactly the same variables, x and y, and the x would have to have 3 as its exponent. I don't have that in either of the other two terms, so it doesn't have a like term. It will just remain as 6x to the third y. This doesn't have a like term either, so it will remain the same. And neither does the last one, so it will remain the same as well. So there's our answer. N minus 9 could have gone on top, or you could have put it over on the side. Since they're the same size, it doesn't really matter which order you put them in. And then we multiply n times n squared. N times negative 9, negative 9n. N times 7, 7n. And negative 9 times 7, negative 63. Now it's time to look for like terms. N squared doesn't have any other like terms. 7n, there's a like term for it because it has the same variable and same exponent. So negative 9n plus 7n gives me negative 2n. And then negative 63 doesn't have a like term. So there's our solution. Number 3, a plus 4 and 2a to the fifth, 3a cubed minus 6a squared, and 5. So we're multiplying a times 2a to the fifth, and we get 2a to the sixth. A times 3a cubed, 3a to the fourth. A times negative 6a squared, negative 6a to the third. A times 5, 5a. Then 4 times a to the fifth gives me 8a to the fifth. 4 times 3a cubed, 12a cubed. 4 times negative 6a squared, negative 24a squared. 4 times 5, 20. Now we're looking for like terms. There's only one term that has a to the sixth, one term that has a to the fifth, one term with a to the fourth, and there are two terms that have a cubed. So 12a cubed minus 6a cubed gives me 6a cubed. Then negative 24a squared is the only term with a squared. 5a is the only term with a, and 20 is the only constant. So there's my solution. For the last one, it doesn't matter which order you put them in because I gave you a 3x3 box and they're both trinomials. So 5x squared, 2x, and negative 3. 3x cubed, 2x, and 1. So 3x cubed times 5x squared gives me 15x to the fifth. 5x squared times 2x gives me 10x cubed. 5x squared times 1 gives me 5x squared. 5x cubed times 2x gives me 6x to the fourth. 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. 3x cubed times negative 3 gives me negative 9x cubed. Negative 3 times 2x, negative 6x. And then negative 3 times 1, negative 3. So we're looking for like terms now. This is the only term that has an x to the 5th. This is the only term that has an x to the 4th. There are two terms that have x cubed, so negative 9x cubed plus 10x cubed gives me positive 1x cubed. Two terms with x squared, 5x squared plus 4x squared gives me 9x squared. Two terms with x, negative 6x plus 2x gives me negative 4x, and then negative 3.